So now your dog's been working on sits and downs, and they have an excellent name recognition. But one of the cues that clients often ask me is, how do I get my dog to just stay put? How do I just stay there? So what we're gonna work on today is getting your dog to understand what the stay cue means. In order to do a good stay, I like to make sure a dog has a good sit or a down. Either is useful, both more useful. And in this case, we're just going to work on a sit stay. So we're going to get our dogs to sit. Jack's already doing it, so I'm gonna reward him because he's so great. Good boy, you ready to work? You ready to work? The thing with stay is we're going to add this cue when the dog is already performing the behavior for a few seconds. So get your dog up, get them eating, good job, knowing that they're ready to work. This is gonna be really hard for them. They generally are gonna wanna move towards wherever the food is. You feed them, you take your hand away, and you feed. 1, 2, 3. I want 3 quick feeds. I want the dog to know, like, whoa, I get really fed well if I just hang tight. All right. If your dog gets up or lays down, come on. If your dog gets up, all I want you to do is put them right back into the place that you wanted them to sit in. Don't use your word no. I want you to save your no's for really horrific, terrible things that you need to convey to your dog was bad. In this case, moving from a sit into a standing position because stay isn't strong enough isn't really the appropriate time to use a no yet. Come on. Good boy. So I'm gonna ask for a sit. 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna count. 1, 2, yes. 1, 2, yes. Yes. And if I dare, I can go to 3. Yes. All done, good boy, good job. I did 2, I got to 3, and I called it quits. It is so hard for us to call it quits when we're getting really good behavior. So what I want you to think about is if you're getting it really well, call it, do an all done, which releases your dog from his cue, and give him some pets. Tell him he's doing a good boy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Oh yeah, that's a good job. Ready to work again? Ask for your sit. 1, 2, 3, bites, and then count. Yes. Yes. And I want you to get to 25 seconds where you can stand here, or even better, food behind your back. Yes. And reward your dog. When you can get to 25 seconds, we're ready to push on for a little bit more sit stay. We got our 25 seconds. Jack is offering a sit and not moving with me standing right here. Now it's time to add motion, and this is where we really start to build in our stay cue. You're gonna have a large hand with your fingers spread out, and that's gonna be your verbal and your hand signal to your dog. Jack, ask for a sit. I'm going to stay. 1, 2, 3, and I want you to yes and treat. Just give him 3 seconds on that one. It's a new cue for him. Notice in this particular type of learning, we're applying the stay and the hand signal at the same time. Stay, 1, 2, 3, yes and treat. All right. So let's up the criteria. We're gonna add our stay, and then we're gonna walk backwards, and walk forward, and yes and treat our dog. If the dog gets up, you just, all done, and you repeat the cueing. Stay. Yes. I want to make sure my dog is successful. The only way they learn is by having lots of successful repetitions. So it's our job to make sure that I'm not pushing him too much too soon. Stay. Yes, good boy. Good job. Good boy, Jared. So if he's doing really well, we're gonna up the criteria. I want you to think about upping the criteria after 3 repetitions. He did 3 really well. Let me see if I can make the 4th repetition a little trickier. Stay. Yes. Good boy, Jack. I'm gonna give him 2. up the criteria and he nailed it. Perfect. I want you to think about upping your criteria and making sure they're successful. On that first successful repetition, it's really important that you pay out really well because they're working harder for you. Stay. Yes, good boy. Good job. Great. Another way to up the criteria, if they're really getting moved out of position when you move away from them, is to just turn your back. Stay. Yes, good boy. And I'm really doing it kind of fast. Stay. Yes, good job. When you're increasing your criteria and trying to make training more difficult for your dog so that they can learn it the right way, you always want to first go with time, meaning how many seconds we can build up, and then you're going to go to distraction level. Me moving away and me turning is increasing that distraction level. Come on, Jack. Sit. Stay. Yes, good boy. Great job. One of the things that I do with stay when a dog is learning it for the first time is to not take a few paces away and call the dog to me. To me, that's releasing a dog from a stay position when they're just learning it. Teach them to stay, increase your criteria so they learn it really well, but always return to them to feed them. And if you're off, if they're off the clock is what I call it, or they're all done, you go, all done, all done. Good boy, Jack, good boy. So he knows no more paychecks, he's free to do whatever he wants.